Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 79. And today I want to discuss the other side of the impact that we have from Ada erasing everyone's memory of Boruto being Naruto's son and make the entire world think that he's the one who killed Naruto and Hinata. Yesterday, we discussed how Sarada leaving the village would be both a terrible idea for her goal, if it's to right the wrongs for Ada and Kawaki for what they've done, as well as how that actually holds Boruto back. But today, I want to take things a bit further, and I want to lay out why Boruto having both Sarada and Sumire free of control from Ada's power is a very important thing that we have to pay a much closer bit of attention to, as to why the three of them being Boruto's potential new team moving forward is going to be very crucial as we head into Boruto's time skip. So jumping right into it, I think the first thing we have to look at with Boruto having Sarada and Sumire in his corner is that it's going to take some of the pressure off of Boruto as we move forward into this portion of the story. Right now, the stakes have been raised to a very high level as we head into the time skip. For Boruto right now, his path has been flipped around and he's beginning to start mirroring his own father's path, likely with a few twists in order to avoid it becoming too repetitive. And when we look at Naruto's journey early on, it began with him being an outcast that he was, and then by chapter 3 of the manga, he was assigned his teammates up front as he began taking those first steps down that path to become a ninja and a hokage. Those teammates were Sakura and Sasuke. Boruto right now is in the isolation stage where everyone hates him, but right now we know that Sarada knows who Boruto is and she's still very much protective of him. So that's one teammate, but Mitsuki, who is already a member of Team 7, looks like he won't be the other teammate because he tried to kill Boruto due to being brainwashed. And that brings us to Sumire herself. Based off of what we've seen before with her character, it looks as if she's likely going to be immune to Ada's Shinjutsu as well. That likely means that she will be the other person working with Boruto to make corrections to the timeline. And if this is the case, we already have our first twist from the original story. Boruto's team has 2 teammates on it, whereas Naruto's team had 2 males on it. The other thing we can take away from this is that we've already seen the seeds planted for a love triangle with Boruto in the middle, with Sumire openly chasing after Boruto and Sarada having moments where it's implied or it's teased that she might feel a similar way, which, for as unsexy as this might be, there are some who think that this might be why both of them are immune to Ada's powers. But taking this a step further, however, having the 2 of them still be the people who know who he is and genuinely care for Boruto is likely what ends up being the anchor that keeps him rooted and from falling too far into despair, or at the very least, it's what pulls him out of despair itself. Going even further here, Sumire joining Boruto to fix the timeline by finding a way to reverse everyone's memories is more likely to happen with the help. Sumire is in a better position than Sarada because she is able to work directly underneath Amado. If anyone potentially knows or can figure out what's happened, it's definitely Amado himself. Momoshiki said that he doesn't believe Amado knew what he was playing with when he gave Ada the DNA of Shibai to awaken those god powers, a Shinjutsu within a Shinjutsu, but nothing can be ruled out because Momoshiki, while he is knowledgeable, he's still the definition of an unreliable narrator for the purposes of our story. Not as obvious as Amado, but there are still elements of the unreliable narrator here. He doesn't reveal all information at once to characters in universe, i.e. Boruto, nor does he reveal everything to us as readers. And there are instances where there are moments of dramatic irony where we know something that Momoshiki himself doesn't know. If Amado is completely innocent, Sumire working underneath him is still in position to help Boruto, and here's how. No one who is human knows as much about the Utsuki clan as Amado does. He's thoroughly researched them in an attempt to bring back his daughter to life, and every time we turn a corner, it appears as if there's some new Utsuki clan related info that Amado left out. Konoha currently has Amado's data that's been brought to Konoha with him. He was supposed to turn over everything that he had, but it was so advanced and there was so much for Konoha to shift through that even Katasuke is still on a learning curve to catch up with Amado's work, and all that data still being poured over. If there was anything in that data related to Utsuki, which there likely was something, Sumire is in position to go through it and find that information in the files because she works both for the Ninja Tech Department, which has the data, and she works directly under Amado as Shikamaru's spy. If Amado's hiding something, like he figures out what's happened, Sumire is likely to spot it because, as we've seen in the manga before, she's caught on to Amado each and every time he's been up to something, but she's always been one step behind him and figured out what happened a little too late. However, what's the likelihood that Amado figures out what happened? It's actually a lot larger than you might believe, to a point where I don't think it will be that long before Amado's looped in and leverage is used against him to make him comply. Allow me to explain. Kawaki and Bortuo, they've switched sides. Everyone thinks that Boruto's the enemy and Kawaki's the favorite son, the gem of the next generation. However, there's one major difference. Kawaki is a cyborg. Boruto is not a cyborg. Kawaki's body needs regular maintenance by Amado, or else the ninja tech inside his body doesn't function at peak efficiency, from the extensions that he makes like Delta encode to the accelerated healing that his body has to even the power boost that comes from the ninja tech itself. Once Amado joined Konoha, Kawaki's been going in for regular maintenance just like all the other car cyborgs did. Delta, Code, Boro, and etc. all had to get work done on their bodies occasionally. Think of it like an oil change for your car or a tune-up for your car. Every 5,000 miles or so you have to change the oil. Mileage obviously varies depending on what type of car you drive, but you get the point here. Kawaki's body is eventually going to need work, and Amado will be the one to realize that the Hokage's son isn't a cyborg, let alone a cyborg with my nanotech and my stolen Hashirama cells inside of his body that are binded with that nanotech. Amado's going to realize it, and that's the crucial link. And best of all, Amado won't say anything because Amado needs Kawaki to revive his daughter's soul into Delta's body, because as a clone, Delta isn't actually his daughter in personality despite having the body and the genetics and the memories of his daughter. Amado will figure out what happens, and Kawaki or Ada will use that leverage against him in an attempt to try and buy his compliance. Which brings me back to Sumire. She likely will notice that change in Amado and can begin looking to see if he inadvertently reveals something that can be used to make a reversal. Between that and Sarada being on Team 7 with Kawaki, who everyone thinks is the original member of Team 7, there's going to be something there for the two of them to work with to find a way towards finding an answer. Boruto is playing with the theme of where does science fit into this world of ninja, but it still has those same ninja elements that we saw in Naruto. Despite what some of the haters will tell you, those elements are still there. When we really sit down and boil it down to its core, there is still deception behind deception all throughout the story. There's something here that can be exploited for the betterment of the story itself, and due to the large gap in power and knowledge, it's something that can be used as a prolonged story arc, as well as building towards a deeper payoff, because these two characters can't just barge into Amado's lab and start raising all type of fuss, because Kawaki can just clap their cheeks. The two of them keeping Boruto's back while he's out and on the run, it gives Boruto some peace of mind that he doesn't have to go through everything alone, and we cannot understate that. He just has to worry about the hardest thing, which is staying alive long enough to turn the tables when the opportunity presents itself. I think we also have the bigger issue at hand here as well, which is Sarada and Sumire are going to be used as a potential check on Bortuo to keep his chakra in check. To understand why I say this, we have to look at what chakra is in the ninja world. It's made up of physical energy, i.e. Yang chakra, and it's made up of spiritual energy, i.e. Yin chakra. Yin chakra is linked to the mind, the emotions, and the soul when you really sit down and boil it down. Boruto loses control to Momoshiki when his chakra runs low, but based on what Momoshiki said in the past, when Boruto loses control this next time for a long period of time, the only thing that can cause him to break out of those shackles, Boruto's going to be driven into despair. However, the only thing that can allow him to break out of those shackles and keep him in check is having these two in his corner to remind him that he's not alone. Here's the reason why. It keeps the yin portion of his chakra stronger because it keeps his spirit from fluctuating, and we've seen before that there is something to this, because when Boruto regained control in the past, it wasn't just because he absorbed chakra. It was his strength of will to suppress Momoshiki as well. Momoshiki's playing mind games with Boruto for a reason, teasing what's about to happen, laughing as the things he teased are actually taking place in order to drive him into the despair. And as we've seen with Naruto, being driven into despair is reversed by force, like what Yamato used in the Edict Enlightenment Jutsu seal in order to suppress the Nine Tails chakra chakra when he lost control, or that despair is reversed through compassion, like when Minato rebuilt the seal in that warm-colored sanctuary, or when Kushina helped calm his soul in a similar setting when he tried to tame the Ninetales. It might not be the sexiest route, but I do think we're about to see a new three-man team working together, maybe not in the same physical location, but working towards the same goal. However, I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts about this potential team up. While you think that over, click here to watch this Naruto Explained video.